famous line from an old movie has one character saying, "We're going to need a bigger boat." The idea of a longer boat is a way to get more people from one side to the other. We have a coaching team with us today, and they're looking to build 100 millionaires. That's their stated goal and their passion. If you're interested in being the next millionaire, stick around to this episode of Broker Talk to find out. I'm Larry Lawfer, your host each week, and I'm joined each week by Jim Lowenstern, CEO of Castles Unlimited International. Broker Talk is a weekly show um, that shares with our audience the best practices, and we have special guests who share their methods. Real estate is one of the most used paths to create generational wealth. Think a lot of money. There are methods that anyone can employ to build their own empire, but it's always easier when you have a mentor, a coach, and a blueprint. Walter Amarelo of the Alchemist Network and his partner, Darina Pogodina, are just such a team. They have made it their mission and their goal in life to build this kind of wealth, firstly for themselves, and to bring at least 100 people along with them. Welcome back to Broker Talk, Walter and Darina. Thanks for coming back and sharing with us your progress. How's the quest going?
So far, so good, Larry. As long as people are motivated, there will be room for people to grow.
Exactly. Motivation becomes a key component. And I watched one of your videos recently, and you outlined four components. Do you want to share them with us right now?
Which ones did I put out there?
Well, you started with one of them.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, it's mindset. Yeah.
That's education, knowledge, and then real estate is step two. Then build your business is step three, and then step four is market or reinvest. Go back into it and start over again.
Over and over again.
That's
Rinse,
right.
rinse, wash, repeat.
You got it. Just like the shampoo.
I'm surprised that you know anything about shampoo, but that's another story.
It's been a long time, Larry, but I see that she uses it every so often. It smells very good. It's, nice and vibrant.
Every so often, you're not watching closely enough. Maybe not. Um, so I am curious because right before we started, we were talking, and I have read many of the books that I hear you quoting, Think and Grow Rich. And that's why you have interviewed over 100 millionaires. Are these millionaires, are they all real estate millionaires, or are they just millionaires?
So that's actually a great question. They're not all real estate. Many of them are business owners, but because I am obsessed with real estate, I'd say 80 to 90% of the millionaires on the call have been real estate focused, but every single one of them has an operating company. They have another stream of income, which is how they are able to invest in their businesses, in their investment businesses. And that's been a crazy realization to me as I go and interview not just millionaires, but multimillionaires, that it's consistent. They always have a stream of income, whether it's real estate or not.
And I think they also share a number of other characteristics. They usually are readers.
Yes.
They're not letting things go by. They're paying attention. They're studying. They don't care about failure. They care about moving over failure to get to their success. Successful people fail more than unsuccessful people. Jim,
I,
you've written a book, a really good book about how to be a millionaire in real estate. What were some of your tactics that you used?
Well, that was pretty much specific to brokerage. So I don't know if it's going to relate to everyone on this podcast, but uh, it
Well,
had to do a lot with marketing oneself and selling more expensive properties, because more expensive properties relate to higher commissions, and also sponsoring or recruiting other people onto either teams or into companies and being compensated
that reminds me a
for
little
that.
bit of Gary Keller's book, the Millionaire, the $1 Million Real Estate Agent, I think is the name of that one.
When we have Jim on the call, we call it the Red Book, right? We don't speak about other.
That's fine. I gave that book away so many times I could never get through it. And then, unfortunately, I broke my ankle and I was stuck on a beach with nothing but that book. And I finally got through it. Um, it does have one or two good thoughts in it, but
Well,
it's really it's a textbook.
it
I
is.
think mine's an easier read, and I actually wrote it.
Well, you wrote your
Not
book.
saying Gary didn't write his, but he didn't.
Yeah, we won't know that. It is much like
No,
a
he
book.
admits it. I mean, it's right on the first page. It's got like 5 people that wrote the book. He's one of them.
Hmm.
Yeah, like an executive producer.
Well, I don't want to get stuck on the book because really the point
You
here.
brought it up. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. So the point here is what are the steps? So for instance, I know you guys have a niche. You are mostly buy and hold, but I saw that you also are doing some amount of wholesaling. Talk to me about the difference between buy and hold and wholesale.
And there's a big difference. And especially since we were just talking about agency, we actually are both agents, and that's where we started. So we were agency before wholesaling. I think a lot of people come into investing as wholesalers, then they get their real estate license, then they start flipping, and then they start buying holds. We started in reverse. We started with buy and holds, and then we got our real estate licenses. And the reason that they're all different is one is very short term. Wholesaling can make you money very quickly, whereas being an agent, you're talking about 3 months before start to finish a transaction is going to go through. And then when it comes to a flip, you're talking 3 to 6 months because you got to renovate the building. And with buy and hold, you're talking 3 to 5 to 10 years before you really start seeing the benefit of holding that real estate. You have to have the long-term strategy, but you also need to get fed today. You need food on the
Right.
table.
Right. Right. Well, that would be coming from rents, but you have to be able to purchase it at the right price. So the rents then are covering you during that process as the equity builds itself.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And Darina's seen
Or you can borrow against it. That's another way to pull money out. Do some bushes and some paint, and all of a sudden it appraises for a lot more. And since interest rates are so low right now, you know, a lot of money there. Oh, and you can write off the interest, and you can write off all the improvements.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
it's
can.
funny because
So
we
while
want-
you're pulling the money out, you're also reducing your taxes.
that's where I was just going with that. We get asked all the time, well, how much did you make last year? Government doesn't think I made much. I guarantee you
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
It's
matter.
not a lot.
There's always money there.
But
You can
I
always
had plenty
pull
of money
money
to
out
do
of
it.
somewhere, right?
That's right. We had plenty of money to do the investments we wanted to make. So
Yeah, I saw
One
that
of,
you
one of
just-
my favorite books, just while we're talking about books, No Money Down. That was a great book. Did everyone read that book?
No Money Down. That was Robert Allen, right? I had him on the podcast 3 weeks ago. Phenomenal author. Phenomenal book.
I was just going to ask, is he even still alive and not in jail?
He is indeed.
Great book.
Not in jail. He's doing well.
Good to know.
There's another coach guy who does this out in Texas, Dallas, I think he is, and he has a book called "Are You Dumb Enough to Be Rich?" And his breaks it down really simply, but he's a buy and hold guy. So I think that the audience needs to understand there are a bunch of ways to do this. And you can go in and you can buy inexpensive properties and get yourself started. You can buy a house and put tenants in there and then who are preparing to purchase, let them sit for a year while they get their stuff together and then sell them something, put a new tenant in there. There's a variety of different ways. Talk to me about your favorite ways right now.
So I'll let Darina take that because she followed that exact process. So
Yeah.
what was your easiest way to get into a house? What's the least you ever got in?
The list as far as Financials.
Financials.
So I love networking, and for me was networking was the key to getting off market deals and more flexible ways of financing it. So for me, I got a property with almost no money down because it was structured in a way that I had the credit back at closing, and I had some seller covered some of the expenses where they had to pay for replacing tenants, and it was fantastic.
Well,
So
go ahead, Darina. I'm sorry.
and then I sold it 3 years later and made a lot of money.
$250,000. I'll just tell you, it's $250,000. She did amazing.
With putting down only basically out of my pocket $6,000, I made $243 after I sold it 3 years later. And it's because I had a regular job at that time, and I had good relationships with all the investors in the area, and they liked me, they trusted me, and we made a good deal where, again, the credit back really helped out. And I did minimum renovations, just like sanding the floors and painting, and that was it.
And mine's easy. Hard money and seller financing. Tie them together, no money down, run the deal, refinance later. First strategy.
And we're going to come back to all of that right after this message from our sponsor.
When you are searching for a new home, you want to be working with a realtor with years of experience, a professional with intimate knowledge of the communities that you are considering moving to, and someone who really wants to represent you as a buyer in what is probably the largest investment you will ever make in your lifetime. The realtors at Castles Unlimited want to be your choice when you're ready to make your next move. Please visit us at castlesunlimited.com or call us anytime at 800-967-3561. The realtors at Castles Unlimited are here to help your next purchase, lease, or sale of any real estate the easiest decision you've ever made. Start your search anytime, 24/7 at Castles.
Hey, we're back. Do you want to be a millionaire? We've got Gualter and Darina, and they're well on their way. And they also have sometime in October, you're having a webinar, seminar. What's going on with that?
Darina, go ahead. The 100 Millionaires Summit. Go ahead.
Yes.
She's running the whole thing.
Yes, so we have fantastic annual event, 100 Millionaire Summit 2021. It's happening in sunny Florida, Orlando, October 22nd, 23rd. So it's a full 3-day live in-person event on building your business, doubling your income in the next 12 months, breakthroughs, network, and also just figuring out your financial blueprint. If you think like a millionaire, you should be there.
And most importantly, I'll be there.
Why?
Go ahead, Jim.
Why Orlando, Florida? When I don't know. Why not just do it on Cape Cod?
Ooh.
We wanted to make sure that it would stay.
Everybody
open.
got COVID.
Just in case COVID laws got tightened up in Massachusetts, we said we're going to Florida. Wear a mask, get your vaccine, but Florida will not stop us from doing any live events. Whereas other parts of the country,
that's for sure,
questionable.
What is it? Yeah. Originally, it was supposed to be Las Vegas, but we moved it to Orlando, and also it's a very good destination for everyone to fly in. So the tickets are very affordable, and
affordable. What did I see? 197 or something like that.
$200 and you can get access to Millionaires. And just to clarify, so my net worth is 2.4 million. Her net worth we just calculated is 1.1 million, which she's 2 years younger than me. So give her 2 more years and she'll be right where I was, or beyond it, because she's on a strategy of doubling her net worth, doubling her income every single year. The same strategy I've been following for the past 7 years is possible for anybody. You just got to learn it, and that's what we'll be talking about at the event.
Exactly. How many horses is that, Darina?
how many horses right there?
No. I'm. How many horses can you buy by doubling your income? Several, I would imagine.
Well, it's think of horses like a house, because you can buy a house or a horse, but then you have to maintain it. So all the holding costs are included. They're not paying you back. They're not your tenant.
Horses
So
don't appreciate like houses.
That's right. Well, now she's got a
So-
theory behind that.
no,
So
no, no, no. You can flip a horse too. That's another strategy. You buy a horse, you upgrade it. On the horse wins shows, take first, second, third places. It can actually be resold for a double price. So there is a
Right.
way to
But-
flip
but-
horses.
But in 30 years, you'll pay off that mortgage, and in 30 years, that horse will be in the ground.
the idea is you got to get rid of the horse before it goes to the ground. There's a peak value
I
of
know.
the horse.
Mhm, mhm.
Right.
And the other thing is, this is the only thing I really like. You can actually lease and rent horses out. So like, there's a balance there where maybe you could cash flow on this depreciating asset for a little while and then sell it at its peak.
No. So here's the real question. So you've done flips, you've done wholesale, you've done buy and hold. Now think of every property that you touched. Now there would be a certain point where you'd run out of the cash to acquire new properties. But if you sort of paused at a certain point, held what you had, leased them out, improved upon them, and then once the cash flow and the appreciation allowed you to borrow more to buy new ones, would you be better off just buying and holding rather than going through all the trouble of all the other work? That's the question.
That's a powerful question. In the beginning, you need something. You need some sort of cash flow. And if you don't have a job, we shifted over to agency and flipping. So that's where we were getting our income. You could, if you had enough property. So that whole strategy of re-leveraging properties and living off of them, it requires enough property where you can pay off what you borrowed each year. And so it takes a little bit of, there's a critical mass you have to get to. And I think that number is somewhere around $5 to $10 million worth of real estate. And once you get to that critical mass, yes, absolutely. You can live like the rich, you can leverage. That's how me and my business partner avoid paying taxes, is we just borrow money. We don't borrow everything, just enough to live through the year that we also know the loan will get paid off.
So there's a strategy to absolutely everything that you do, and to understand this strategy, you can join your Alchemist Nation. That's on Facebook, right?
Absolutely. So every Saturday at 10 a.m., we have the 52 wealth principles. So we do 52 weeks to wealth, and I teach one wealth principle each week. This week coming up is wealth principle 34, which is it's the book of the week is never split the difference. In the wealth principle is make sure that bad things will happen, but you take advantage of those bad things. There's an opportunity behind every bad thing that occurs. And we'll be talking about how to negotiate, the 4 processes for negotiations.
Well, never split the difference. If you haven't read that book, that is an awesome book about negotiation. It's by a former FBI, the head of the FBI interrogation, and when he split the difference for a compromise, people died. So he gives you strategies. I think they're called Black Swan. His group is called the Black Swan. There is so much information out on the internet and here to get to these things, to get to how you want to do it. But a critical part is not reading. It's not researching. It's doing something, getting something done. And that is a principle that we all must adopt and adapt to if we're going to be successful. Hey, we'll be right back. We have one more ad here. we're back talking about bad connections. We've got a good connection here today with Darina and Walter from Alchemist Network, changing what to gold? I guess real estate into gold here, right?
So alchemy is the transformation of one substance to another. So in our community, we call it Alchemist Nation. We move a person into a better state of themselves. So first I had to transform myself. Darina had to transform herself. Now we can help other people transform themselves into millionaires, right? Alchemy, turn themselves into gold.
And
The Midas touch.
yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, the bigger boat. I realize that both of my references are from the 1970s, so yeah, I am that old. But I think everybody knows we're going to need a bigger boat for Jaws.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's one of those classic movie. Tell me, you didn't start out wealthy, and there are a lot of people that think, oh, you have to have a lot of money to get this going. And I know, Darina, you came to this country, I'm not sure how many years ago, but you've done it all here, and you arrived with a desire, and you made it work. How did you both go ahead and do that?
Well, I arrived with a suitcase and a big desire for adventure. And my first thought was to work for corporate America, and that would be my dream. And soon I realized that reporting to a stranger or making my boss a reach was not my thing anymore. And I wanted to become a millionaire myself. And real estate was the answer. So slowly but surely, I began educating myself, connecting, and taking action, because we can get all the knowledge in the world, but without taking action, the knowledge is a waste. So, and then by surrounding myself with like-minded people, I came across this gentleman. So I kind of like where it took off.
And it was alchemy from the beginning. So you're all
well, absolutely. She was no easy fish to catch, but like you said, desire, you got to want it bad enough. And I pursued. I went into hot pursuit for a long
Good
period of
job.
time. So
yeah.
Good choice.
Well, I'm about to pass. I have a 33rd wedding anniversary, and I almost never refer to my wife as a fish.
she's the queen of the sea.
There you go. There you go. You'll be there. You know.
I have mentors for a reason, Larry. You're one of them right now, saving me.
What is the goal after the seminar that you're having? I know that you already have a number of people that are actively daily involved in what you're doing. Why don't you name some of the sites that you're on? I know it's Alchemist Network. Where else are you out there? Millionaire.com. What's that one?
We're on ibuildmillionaires.com. We obviously have Gualter Amarelo.com. That's more for the books and a lot of free training out there. Then ibuildmillionaires.com is the 52 weeks to wealth. It's all the wealth principles, how to get involved, the registration. It's all free. And then we got Alchemist Nation. Alchemist Nation is where our community hangs out. It's where they ask questions, where they put deals. It's where a lot of the coaches will just go put free training courses out there where, if we think of a topic that the community's asked for enough, we'll go and record a few videos, put it out there in an actual training course that they can go and take. The idea is growth. So it's whatever questions we're getting throughout the week, we're all meeting up. There's 9 of 10 of us now, all millionaires, where we get together. It's our own mastermind. And we say, okay, what can we do to go and develop something new that the community needs? And we spend, a week or a month, however long it takes to create that product. And that's where this event came from. The community needed to get together and socialize again and figure out how to network and set a goal for the next 12 months. And that's what the 100 Millionaires Summit came from, was a necessity.
I think there is extreme value in getting out of your office and getting around people who are doing what you're doing and asking questions and sometimes feeling stupid. But you're going to walk away from it with a lot of good ideas about what to do. And then the job is to stay in action. So how do you schedule your days, both you and Darina? Um,
Her schedule is way better than mine. I live like Winston Churchill, where if I feel inspired, I work until I drop. And if I'm not inspired, I'll sleep 8 to 12 hours a day. And then, but she'll see me. I'll go some days no sleep 2 days in a row, or sleep 2 3 hours a night for a week until I've gotten a task completed, and then I sleep like a normal person. She's much more regimented.
Yes, I do have a routine. I used to do a lot of activities in the morning, such as Miracle Morning, where I meditate, exercise, and I'm still doing some of it until until probably 9 o'clock in the morning. And then the one thing is done between 9 or 10 till 2. So like Gary Keller says, the one thing. What's the one thing? Don't start the fire before you get this one thing going and executed. And typically between 10 and 2 is the busiest hour. And then after that, usually you go into calls or walks or horseback riding. And at night, we do have events on Zoom where we teach, whether it's a wholesaling boot camp or work with real estate investors. Usually they're at 5 or 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we have round 2 every day. So we make sure we enjoy the middle of our day, and then we come back and we get aggressive about it again.
How are you finding your properties with the inventory being so tight right now?
We're blessed, but it's because we're givers. We're out here teaching and training. So most of our training courses are free. There's only one thing we charge for, and that's the higher level, but everything else is free, and primarily deal flow, how to find deals, how to market, how to cold call, how to negotiate a sale. So we're primarily training listing agents and wholesalers. And because we train them young, just like the elephant, they send us their deals first. So anytime they have an opportunity in our target market, we're getting those deals. So we're going through anywhere between 5 to 10 deals a day. And if we don't use it, we hit our list with it. So we want to add value and serve our investors, serve our wholesalers and our agents that send us the deals.
That's a great method. And it's not a new method, but you learned it and you're applying it, and the people that come to you and work in your groups are succeeding because of it.
I like paying people. That I say that all the time. I love paying people for what they're worth, what they've brought to us. And if I'm making money, they're making money. It has to happen.
Right. Well, people like you much more if you pay them for what they do, And so, do you have a goal for the end of this year? I mean, of course you have the seminar, but is there anything else? Are you anywhere close to doubling your income, Darina, this year?
Well, I tripled my income because I sold the property. However, my income is definitely higher than last year with referral fees, because we now are in Tampa currently, and we send business to Massachusetts and other states. Plus, we resumed our destination events, so that brings us an income. So it is higher than last year, which is amazing. Great. And the sale of the property, I don't really calculate it into the income because it's already reinvested in other deals. Right. So it's not going into my cash where I just go and buy 5 horses. It's just gone.
Yeah. Did you do a 1031 tax exchange when you sold that property?
I did not. I thought of it. However, I wanted speed to action, and 1031 would slow me down because I would overpay for any property that I would buy right now. So okay. I sold it so I didn't have to go through the next sale, continuing that 1031 exchange process, because once you're in it, you would have to continue doing, and that slows you down because the deals would be gone until you find someone who would do the 1031 exchange. So I just decided to pay the golden goose to get me more golden eggs and be okay with that.
And the interesting thing is she diversified into crypto this year. So that was the other reason for rolling it, not rolling it in 1031. She wanted to pull some of it out so she got diversified.
Sure.
And and she's done absolutely amazing. She invested in my company and she bought shares at a great price, and she ended up doubling her value of her shares. So she's done absolutely amazing this year from that one sale. Of course, no taxes on that because she hasn't pulled the money out. So
Sure. Sure.
same with the
She's
crypto.
using, and that's one of the wealth building ways, is that you use your money to make more money rather than buy 5 horses. We could talk about this for another hour or so, but we've reached the end of our half hour. Thank you guys so much for coming back a second time. It's always a pleasure to check in with you. Good luck with the seminar, and we'll be watching. As you know, I pay attention.
Yeah, I'll check you out on Saturday morning at 10 also.
Awesome. Thank
Awesome. Love seeing you guys.
Thanks for listening to Broker Talk. We look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everybody.